Hi, first grade. I hope everybody's doing well and you're staying safe and healthy and hanging in there as best you can. I sure miss you. I wanted to share another read aloud today with you, and I chose this text. This is called Amelia Earhart, Female Aviator. And you may remember back in school, we had an assembly called Pioneers of Flight, and it was about people that um, had an important role in aviation, or in other words, in flying. And so I thought this would be a good book to read today. We've read two fiction stories, so I thought today we would read a nonfiction text, and this is what we would call a biography. It's someone else telling the story of someone that was important or famous or significant in history, for whatever reason. In this case, Amelia Earhart was an important figure in aviation. So we'll listen to the story, the text, and while we're reading together, um, see if you notice any of the nonfiction text features that we had learned about class, in reading class. So this is Amelia Earhart, Female Aviator. Female Aviator. Amelia Earhart was a well-known American. Do you know why Amelia was important? Amelia was an aviator. An aviator is someone who flies an airplane. In Amelia's day, men usually did this job. Amelia was one of the first women to fly planes. I actually noticed two features right away. See if you notice them. I noticed a word in bold, and I also noticed a heading, and also photographs, actually. We got three already on our first two pages. Okay, keep reading. Airplanes were new when Amelia was alive. Very few people had been inside a plane. Everyone wanted to know what flying was like. Amelia saw her first plane when she was 10 years old. She didn't think it was that special. Have you ever seen a plane up close? In 1920, 100 years ago, Amelia took her first plane ride. She loved it so much that she decided to buy her own plane. It was small and yellow. Amelia started taking flying classes. She became really good at flying. People started to notice her. This made Amelia want to fly even more. Setting records. I see another heading. Amelia wanted to fly so she could set records. Setting a record means that you do something first or you do it best. Amelia set many records. She was the first woman aviator to do a lot of important things. Her records made her very popular in America. Amelia set one record in 1928. She became the first woman to cross the Atlantic Ocean in an airplane. A man named Wilmer Stultz flew the plane. When Amelia and Wilmer got back to the United States, the country gave them a big parade. People were very proud of Amelia. This made her want to fly again. And we see a map of the United States, and she flew from where we live, right about here, close to where we live in the United States, to another continent, the continent of Europe. In 1932, Amelia set another important record. She flew across the Atlantic Ocean all by herself. She was the first woman to do this. This trip was scary, but Amelia was very brave. When Amelia returned to the United States, the president gave her an award. Amelia's trip made her famous. She showed the world that women could do things that men usually did. A lot of women wanted to be like Amelia. Amelia did many things that most people hadn't done before. She had a lot of courage. Courage means that you do things even if you're afraid. Amelia's last trip. I see another heading there. In 1937, Amelia wanted to set the hardest record she could think of. She wanted to be the first woman to fly around the world. Amelia started her trip in July 1937. The trip was dangerous, but Amelia wasn't afraid. She said that it's important to do new things, even if they're scary. Amelia's plane broke down during her trip. Her plane disappeared when she was flying over the Pacific Ocean. Nobody was ever able to find her. People have always wondered what happened to Amelia. Some people are still looking for her plane. Even though she was lost, we still remember her as a brave aviator. And we see a chart here, a table that outlines some of the records or the records that Amelia made. And you can see, 1922 flew higher in the air than any other woman aviator. 1928, first woman to cross the Atlantic Ocean in an airplane. 1932, first woman to fly over the Atlantic Ocean by herself. 1932 again, first woman to fly across the United States by herself. And 1935, first woman to fly over the Pacific Ocean by herself. And I noticed another text feature that we had talked about right here, our glossary, which, like we said, is kind of like a mini dictionary at the end of a book that lists the important words from the text in order, and it tells their definition. So when we were reading, we saw all the bold words, and if you see a word bolded in the text, chances are that you might be able to find that word in the glossary at the end of the book. And to learn, if you're not sure what the word means, the glossary can tell us what that word means. So a little different than an index, which we learned about, which is next. So here is our index. Again, a list of important words in the text in alphabetical order, and it tells us which page those words show up on. So if we wanted to look for the word courage, we would go ahead and turn to page 17, and we could read the page that has the word courage in it. So we got a couple of text features in this one, and a little more information on Amelia Earhart. And that is our read aloud for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Again, that was a biography, which is a type of nonfiction. And we'll see what we read next. All right. I hope you have a great day, everybody. Bye. Take care.